It is dinner time. No one ever says, I want to lose my mind. Or you know what? I want to awaken a mental disorder in me. Or I want to unlock the door so demons can live inside my head and torment me. Like, that's not something anyone will ever say. But when it comes to weed and it comes to smoking or hitting the pen or doing whatever type of drugs, it's so many things that people leave out before they tell you to try it. And I want to let you know, I love you. I love you. So I'm going to tell you right now, don't even try it. Because seeing and hearing more and more people lose themselves or become like a whole new person, or they're always triggered, or they're super paranoid, or they're angry and they're always on 10 super easily, and just be so lost, and they will chalk it up to, yeah, I had some bad, or that person had some bad weed, or their drugs got laced. And I just want to remind you, you are playing with fire when it comes to trying this stuff. And you could definitely be unlocking the door to some demons and allowing demons to have control over you. But I know what a lot of people have said. I've literally heard people say this, like, that's not going to happen to me. I'm good. Like, I know where I get my weed from. I only smoke the best. I only smoke that Cali, I get mine from the dispensary. Or I've heard people say, or when they found out about somebody else kind of losing themselves, they'll say, yeah, I heard about Adam and that he lost his mind, but that's not me, He got his stuff laced. He had that gas station stuff. He was smoking with them, he was smoking with the people. He didn't even know those people. And everyone thinks it'll never happen to me. And someone who has been drunk before, when it comes to getting high, drunk, stoned, or whatever, what are we doing? We are trying to bottle up the fun. We are chasing pleasure. Sometimes we're trying to escape from pain. Sometimes we're trying to relieve ourselves from some trauma that happened, or we're trying to enhance and make something else better. We want to use it as an escape. And I just want to point out, getting drunk is 100% wrong. And I'm not making it seem like smoking is the only bad thing. I'm talking about anything that makes you high, anything that makes you drunk, anything that makes you stoned, or whatever you want to call it, when it comes down to altering the way you think and how the brain works. Run from it. Like, don't try to sin safely. Don't try to do something outside of God's will safely. We all do that. Like, I'm guilty of doing that. And I have even heard people say stuff like, like when I'm high, like God has come down and like talked to me, or he sent like one of his angels and he's pretty much said like, do whatever makes me happy. And he told me like everything in the Bible isn't even true, and to like forget the government. And like, I completely felt his presence, and he's like talked to me personally before when I'm high. God says very clearly he's going to talk to us through his teachings, which are in the Bible. And one of the clear things he says in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 is, be alert and of sober mind. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, roams around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So I want you to just to think about this. How many of y'all would take your hand or your arm and put it in a lion's mouth and say, now I'm not talking about no baby lion, I'm talking about a ferocious lion that's hungry. Like, how many of you would do that? That sounds stupid. That sounds absolutely ridiculous. But we forget at times that we're at war. And one of the smart tactics that the enemy does is he makes us think that we're not even in a battle, but we are in a spiritual battle. And doing drugs, doing weed, getting drunk, getting high, getting stoned makes us more susceptible because we put our guard down and don't even realize like we are in a battle. And when it comes to that feeling, or I've heard people say when they felt something spiritual or they heard something when they are high, like, I don't doubt it. I actually don't doubt it. But it's probably something posing as godly, or I would say even as the angel of light. But you know what that is? That's a demon. Like, that's a demon. That is absolutely a demon. And just think about that. No one says, I want to invite demons into my life. I want to have a mental disorder. I want to awaken a monster inside of me. And we also forget, no one also says, I want to kill my creativity. I want to kill that lion inside of me that can only be fed by God and is actually a good thing. That's nothing. No one ever says anything like that or talks like that. But when you are high or you're drunk or you're stoned or where you're whatever, you are unlocking doors to demon. And I want to read this to you from 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3 and 4. And this is verse 13 and 14. So just thinking about, like, sometimes you seeing something, but it's not godly. It says, but I am afraid that as the serpent deceived Eve by his cunning, your thoughts will be led astray from a sincere and pure devotion to Christ. For if someone comes and proclaims another Jesus than the one we proclaimed, or if you receive a different spirit from the one you received, or if you accept a different gospel from the one you accepted, you put up with it readily enough. Now I'm going to jump to verse 13 and 14. These people are false apostles. They are deceitful workers who disguise themselves as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So this reminds us, like, there will be some things that will pose as godly. Even demons can sometimes appear like they are godly or angels of light, but they are not. They are absolutely not. I know some people are still thinking like, yeah, I smoke weed. I get high. That doesn't affect me like that. Or some people like, I don't even believe in God, so who cares? Bottom line, regardless, you can't reach your potential. You are definitely lazier. You're less motivated, and you are a shell of yourself. And what I see is people a lot of times don't even know the sober version of themselves, or they don't like the sober version of themselves. And the best version of you, I guarantee the best version of you is when you are locked in with Jesus and doing it his way. I can testify to that. I can testify to that. So, bro, sis, put the weed down. Put it down. Put it down. Just do it. Just do it. And I know a lot of you saying I could do it if I want to, but I just don't want to. Like, bro, you just heard me give you the word with what God is saying. And when it comes down to this, some of you are going to do this. One of the big things when you want to stop doing this is, all right, you need to tell people who can hold you accountable, and you got to block your weed, man. Like, you're going to have to change your number or block them. You got to block your weed, man. You got to find some new hobbies. It might be like working out. It might be like changing the music that you listen to, because sometimes you listen to music every single time you get high. You're going to have some triggers. You need to change the music. I got a playlist for you if you need it. Developing a new skill or finding a new hobby is something awesome to do as well when it comes to stopping. And then every time you want to smoke, I would suggest like reading a chapter in the Bible, journaling, really practice breathing, taking deep breaths, counting to 100 with that, finding Bible passages that you can go to and look. And I would say this, don't be afraid to get professional help. Like, don't be afraid to get professional help. And one of these things I would say is, if you stop something, don't stop smoking and then pick up a different drug. Like, all right, I'm going to just get drunk. Like, don't put down a gun to pick up a bomb. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. And this is a calling for you to be alert. This is a calling for you to be alert. Do things his way. Trust in God who loves you and has proven this by dying on the cross, because 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 tells us, for the Spirit of God did not make us timid. It does not make us timid, but it gives us power and love and self-discipline. So my brothers and sisters, put the weed down. And this is the non-microwave truth, but on microwave time. I don't want you unlocking some door for some demons. Be full of the Holy Spirit and know God's truths. Shalom, shalom.